We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in the heart of Johannesburg. This is Prime News on SABC 3. And here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
During South Africa's chairship, we will work closely with every member state, guided by the principle of sovereign equality.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says that South Africa will use its position as chairship of SADC to drive industrialization, boost regional trade and strengthen cooperation.
I place on record that I do not have any relationship with Minister Mkhunu. I have never met Minister Mkhunu.
Alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Cat Madlanga returned to the Madlanga Commission but was not of much assistance to the probe yet. And the EFF is ramping up its preparations for the upcoming local government elections. If you are watching the clock, it has just gone 8 p.m. Central African time, and you are watching Prime News on SABC 3. Good evening and welcome to it. My name is Beki Mutumomolete, and your sign language interpreter with me today is Novuyo Fihlani. Let us get into the business of what is making your world spin tonight, starting off with your leads. President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially taken over as SADC chairperson. He says South Africa will use the chairship to drive industrialization, boost regional trade and strengthen cooperation. The handover took place at the 46th Ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government in Durban.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has taken the reins of SADC with a clear agenda: accelerate industrialization, boost trade, and strengthen regional cooperation.
During South Africa's chairship, we will work closely with every member state, guided by the principle of sovereign equality, mutual respect, solidarity, and consensus.
Outgoing Chair Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa has held Ramaphosa's leadership, including his time as an interim chair.
And our dear brother, President Cyril Ramaphosa, for his astute and visionary leadership and the stewardship of a regional body over the past year as interim chairperson.
The bloc's troika is still seized with resolving issues in Madagascar, northern Mozambique, and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
The situation in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo remains a matter of concern. We welcome the progress reported through diplomatic engagements and the African-led peace initiatives. We trust that these initiatives bear fruits of peace, of coexistence, social harmony, and economic progress.
Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News, Durban.
Meanwhile, anti-illegal immigration movements have called on African leaders to address the root cause of mass migration on the African continent. Civic movement March and March led a protest to coincide with the 46th Ordinary SADC Summit taking place in Durban.
Law enforcement agencies left nothing to chance. A large contingent of police were deployed to the Durban City Hall ahead of a protest by civic movements. The aim of the protest was to draw the attention of African leaders who were converged at the SADC summit to place mass migration at the top of their agenda.
At this given point in time, it seems like the government is for illegal, undocumented foreigners. Why are you not assisting your people in South Africa?
The group asserts that their actions do not stem from xenophobia, but instead driven by the need for tighter border controls and enforcement of laws. The campaign against undocumented foreign nationals resulted in voluntary repatriation and deportation of thousands of foreign nationals, mostly from Malawi, Zimbabwe and Mozambique.
It's all in the message of making sure that the government understands that South Africans are tired of being, put through a country of not feeling safe. We want to feel safe. We want to feel protected. We don't mind having foreigners in our country who are properly documented, who are here doing correct things, who love the country as much as we do. Not people sitting here trying to rip the country of all that it has and then knowing that they're going to go back to their country the minute all of it is over.
March and March intends to intensify their campaign against undocumented foreign nationals. The group has given government a week to respond to their memorandum. And Mhlongo, SABC News, Durban.
Alleged cartel member Vusmuzi Kat Madlanga returned to the Madlanga Commission but was not of much assistance to the probe yet. This as he invoked his right against self-incrimination in relation to any evidence touching the Medicare 24 fraud case. And on other allegations, he offered vague denials and distanced himself from key figures such as Police Minister Senzo Mchunu with little to no explanation.
Alleged cartel member Vusmuzi Kat Madlanga made a return before the Madlanga Commission, but held his cards close to his chest on matters that could lead to self-incrimination, such as the Medicare 24 fraud case, an IDAC investigation that has been riddled with allegations of illegalities before the probe.
The SABC and Medicare contract is a matter in which I have been criminally charged and currently attending court, and as such I am unable to comment on the question posed on the paragraph under reply, and the basis is that I do not wish to incriminate myself.
Madlanga is at the heart of the 6th of July allegations made by KZN top cop, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, that informed the establishment of the Madlanga Commission. Madlanga is accused of, among other things, enjoying a highly irregular SABC Medicare contract worth millions, maintaining relations with high-ranking police officials to further alleged cartel interests, and allegedly bankrolling Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's alleged presidential ambitions. On the latter, however, he offered a vague denial.
I place on record that I do not have any relationship with Minister Senzo Mchunu. I have never met Minister Mchunu and have had no interactions with him, nor have I been at any gatherings where he was present. It suffices to say that I do not know Minister Mchunu.
Madlanga's testimony has been postponed to the 24th and 25th of August 2026. The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Debated how to capture the issue in the...
When we return, the conduct of private investigator Paul O'Sullivan featured strongly during the ad hoc committee's deliberations. We have this and more coming up after the break. Welcome back to Prime News on SABC 3. The conduct of private investigator Paul O'Sullivan featured strongly during the ad hoc committee's deliberations as it considers the fourth draft of its report into allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system. O'Sullivan appeared before the committee in February, with his evidence continuing over several sittings.
O'Sullivan's evidence was among the most contentious before the committee. He was questioned extensively about his background, his alleged links to various figures and allegations concerning his role in the matters under investigation.
It was very high level, and I think it's important, while it can be consolidated, it is important that those details are properly captured, including the fact that the Speaker has laid a criminal charge against Paul O'Sullivan for sending or threatening messages or alleged threatening messages to Mr. Kabendi.
He supported the EFF's proposal on the alleged threat to Nkabinde and the reference to O'Sullivan's request for a virtual appearance. Other parties, including the MK Party, DA, IFP, PA, Freedom Front Plus and Action SA, raised no objection.
Chair, we have no problem in accepting the EFF submission in relation to the threat from Mr. O'Sullivan to Mr. Nkabinde.
The committee has agreed to strengthen the section dealing with O'Sullivan's conduct and his interaction with the committee. It is expected to sit again on Tuesday afternoon. Mkokeli Bandla, SABC News, Parliament.
The EFF is ramping up its preparations for the upcoming local government elections. The party says it is moving into the second phase of its campaign with a focus on door-to-door engagement and mobilizing voters. EFF Deputy President and mayoral candidate for the Mbombela local municipality in Mpumalanga, Godrich Guardier, gave an update on the party's work thus far and where they hope to land come the November polls.
With the November polls just a few months away, the EFF has turned its attention to campaign strategy. The party hosted its mayoral candidates and leadership to discuss the upcoming elections.
Upscaling the campaign to phase 2. We're coming from phase 1 of the campaign, and now we're going to the phase 2 of the campaign. Umuntu emntwini, person to person, listening campaign, talking to the people, door to door, preparing for the big day, the logistics and everything. Yes, boots on the ground.
Gardi says the EFF will aim to position itself in every municipality and ward throughout the nation, saying they will not overlook those traditionally won by other parties.
We are contesting 213 mayoral positions, and I think it's 4,398 or 498 wards, wall to wall, every ward, every street. Not a single ward will not be contested, including Constantia, Stellenbosch, and any other place you think is white exclusive. There will be an EFF candidate.
Zara Groenewald, SABC News, Johannesburg.
To this now, the DA says that it has written to President Cyril Ramaphosa requesting that he mandate the SIU to investigate unlisted PIC investments. The party says this investigation will help recover lost pensions and ensure accountability.
Addressing the media in Parliament, DA's Andrew Bateman says they can no longer sit and watch while public pensioners are allegedly being abused. He says the first step to ensure accountability was the initiation of a private member's bill called the Pension Protection Bill to ensure that PIC directors are appointed on merit. Now they want an investigation into the unlisted investments.
An SIU investigation gives the President the opportunity to ensure that South Africans know the truth, to attempt to recover what's been lost to pensioners and workers' funds, and to help to ensure that there is proper accountability.
At least one economist argues that though it is not wrong in principle for the PIC to invest in unlisted investments, there are risks associated with such.
There's always the possibility that there could be some political shenanigans going on somewhere, or somebody with a vested interest in this specific investment that shouldn't have an interest in this investment.
Royd further says price discovery is another risk posed by investing in unlisted assets where the market value is unknown. I am Yamkela Mchiya for SABC News in Parliament.
After the break, Zambia is awaiting the final result of last Thursday's presidential election, with President Hakainde Hichilema extending his lead as counting continues. We have more on this when we come back. Thank you for staying with us. Delegates at the Housing Investment Connect conference in Cape Town have commended the city's decisive actions in driving affordable housing through the release of city-owned land. The city says it aims to strengthen private-public partnerships to drive equity and inclusion through the provision of affordable housing for residents.
Amid ongoing frustration over Cape Town's housing crisis, with tourists flooding the downtown property market, while apartheid spatial planning issues persist, the city says it aims to strike a balance that ensures residents are catered for while also maintaining tourist investments.
So the first thing to say is that it's very important that our tourism industry continues to grow in South Africa. We do not want to strangle our tourism industry. In this city alone, there are 280,000 people that work in the tourism industry. So it is a massive employer of South Africans. And we love that. We want it to carry on growing.
Investors and developers say there are numerous opportunities for investment in and out of the city, which will go a long way towards the provision of housing and employment opportunities for residents.
From the finance perspective, we obviously have funds which we invest for developments, which result in either the sale or the long-term holding of rental stock, generating rentals for the developers or generating sales.
The city says work is underway to recalibrate short-term letting bylaws and to support micro developers in legalizing their operations towards advancing affordable housing in Cape Town. Naledi Mabitsela Ngobo, SABC News, Cape Town.
Zambia is awaiting the final results of last Thursday's presidential election, with President Hakainde Hichilema extending his lead as counting continues. Partial results from about 71% of constituencies put Hichilema on roughly 62%, with his main challenger Brian Mundubile on 36%. A presidential candidate needs more than 50% of the vote to win in the first round. The result is being closely watched as a test of Hichilema's economic record and Zambia's democratic process. But the election has been clouded by allegations of repression. Opposition parties and civil society groups have accused government of restricting political activity. On Sunday, government confirmed that several leading opposition figures were arrested on election night, accusing them of posing a threat to state security. The government has denied allegations of political repression. Cloud cover to Spotlight. It is now time for us to check in with our weather experts for a view into our southern skies. Your forecast is up next.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the weather desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country now. High pressure system is still dominating the weather over the country. That is why it's quite clear over most of South Africa. Although it's cloudy, it's moved towards the southern parts of the country, with Cape Town expecting some drizzle for tonight over that coast and also for tomorrow, stretching towards Georgia, and also as we move into that interior of KwaZulu-Natal, stretching to places such as Mthatha over the Eastern Cape. It is a 30% chance of showers and rain, and also expecting some morning fog patches over that coast, stretching all the way towards Gqeberha and also the mother city, Vredendal, Alexander Bay and Springbok, which means that visibility will be reduced over those places in the morning. Looking at our temperatures this morning, for tomorrow morning, it is going to be a cold night, especially as we move towards Pretoria. We're expecting a low of 7, 8 over Polokwane, 9 over Musina. Cool conditions as we move towards Durban. We're expecting a minimum of 16, those cool conditions persisting all the way towards Gqeberha. We're expecting a low of 14, but should be cold as we move into Cape Town. We're expecting a low of 10. Freezing conditions over Sunland with a low of 1. Upington, minimum of 9. Alexander Bay with those morning fog patches, we're expecting a minimum of 11. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow. Do remember the high pressure system still dominating the weather over the country. Quite windy is moved towards the coast over the Eastern Cape with those rainy conditions over Mthatha, just isolated showers and rain over Mthatha, stretching towards Durban and Richards Bay with warm conditions over Richards Bay with a high of 25. It is going to be a cool day over Gqeberha with a high of 19, 18 over Cape Town. 27 over Vredendal, so it's going to be a warm day over Vredendal. Upington also expecting warm conditions with a high of 29. Vryburg at a maximum of 27, and also clear conditions over Pretoria with a high of 28. Musina and also Palabra also expecting a warm day tomorrow with a maximum of 29 over Musina. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
And that is how we conclude our bulletin this evening. And as always, we are grateful for your audience. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow night for more of the updates you need. Until then, from all of us, it is good night.